All right, good morning. I'm gonna sit there. All right, good. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I'm a little, I might be a little bit more scatterbrained than usual. I have a wicked migraine today. And I have to say, I cheated on you guys a little bit. This is my second cup of coffee. Kiddo just would not stop waking up and screaming last night. It feels like someone beat the back of my skull with a ball peen hammer. So, meh. Okay, and chat is put in there. That's good. I wish there was some way just to make this kind of like an automatic thing. Like, yeah, you turn on OSB, you turn on YouTube, and you just hit stream, you hit go live, and everything's all taken care of. It's always futzing with the same 2-3 things every morning. I don't know why that is. But oh wow, there's 3 people in here already. So, how's everyone doing this morning? I hope your night was a wee bit better than mine. Let's get this stream shared around. You know, I really think I need some like social media lady or something to start doing these things with me or for me or something. I definitely need someone. Just because I don't know, just someone to start doing or start helping with things or start doing something. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not all here yet. I do have to say I'm a little disappointed with how I seem to be the only one who posts in the Red Door Creative. I wish more of the other creators would actively post onto the page, just so it doesn't look like it's just another front for me. Which, I mean, I'd be okay. I'm not sad with having another front for me, but you know, the more people, the merrier, I think. So good news. I talked with Joseph, that Jay Dye or Jay. I forget how he pronounces his name, but that Joe guy yesterday, and it was actually a really good conversation, and I think things are going to start working on there. Talked with Donnie yesterday, getting all his stuff up and running, so that's good. But yeah, everything. Yeah, that one, Joe. You guys don't see the chat yet, but I can see yours. Eileen, you're right. Jay, Jay Dye, JD. Joe. That's going to be, if things get rolling there, that's going to be an interesting thing. Talked with Donnie yesterday and got him, got a lot of good information out of him. And the first package of my leather working stuff came in yesterday, which was the poundo board, the marble slab, and the stitching pricks, which are fantastic. So I'm definitely going to have some awesome leather working projects coming up soon, because I'm actually getting outfitted the proper way with the proper materials and stuff to do real legit projects. So super excited. Package 2 is coming today with the Ted's tape, hammer, and the leather. So yeah, it's actually a cool thing. That's the first leather hide I'm actually buying. Everything else has always just been a scraps or me skinning other defunct projects or stuff. Sorry, no. Second hide I'm buying, because when I built my boots, I actually bought, I don't know how many it was. It was like 15 or 18. It was a pack of goat skin hides with the hair still on them, which were so soft, and just a nice polished suede on the back. Oh, it's so warm too. Anyways, there's a few of you guys in here, so let's hop over to the chat screen and let's get this started, shall we? And that nice sawing sound to get us started. It's like a little wake-up call. It's the clarion bell. Let me see what the backlog on the chat is, so I can get everything, get everyone introduced properly. Eileen, you're first in here as usual. Good morning. Good morning, Lara. Good morning, Joey. Yes, Joey is awake and alive. KGB is on hiatus. I know you're on hiatus. And there's no blaming you for that. You physically can't make the stuff right now. And even if you could right now, you wouldn't be allowed to by law. So there's that thing. But I mean, there's what, 18 some creators, 10 or whatever creators that work or take space at the Red Door. I'm the only one that really posts. And you're right, Joey. That would involve them like doing extra stuff. Like posting or talking to an admin, which is, I'm one of them. Yay. But meh, happens. It just seems, like you if you're doing your art, you'd want to get it out there. And yes, I remember the group chats. There's only like 3 people that post, and one of them is now excommunicated and bleh, whatever. So I don't know how many people actually see it from there or care, but it's another outlet for me. Another pumpkin muffin. Woohoo! I am so hungry, y'all. I didn't even think about starting to eat. I was going to make some eggs. But I didn't even start thinking about eating until it was like 5 minutes before I started. 5 to 9, and my dad was like, "Hey, so are you doing your thing this morning?" I was like, "What? Oh shit!" So I just grabbed another cup of coffee and a muffin. Oh well. I may fry up some eggs after this. Who knows? So what is everybody's plans for today? Anyone having fun? Anyone doing something interesting? Holy moly, Batman, there's 6 of us in here. All right. Early for you guys to hop all in. This is pretty cool. God only knows so many photographers. Yeah, there's quite a bit of them. 4 or 5 photographers and 15 or so theater people, and there's me. There's you, Laura, even though you're not really part of the Red Door, you're kind of auxiliary and ancillary to it. And then there's painters and drawing classes and blah 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 blah. So I'd love to see stuff, get going in there and get moving and get processing and really build it up to something. But who knows? Let's see. You're trying to beg for a voluntary go home so I can get into shenanigans with my physical therapist boyfriend. Oh boy. I'm gonna play with my new stuff once all the material get here today. I have a mandatory staff meeting at the dental office to go over new ways to do things and keep us safe when we go back. Well, make sure you do your research now and wear a couple masks and everything else on your way in there, so that you don't run into that whole spiel, going into a safety meeting unsafe. So any acronyms I don't understand. Need more peanut butter. How is peanut butter going to increase your acronym retention? Right. Okay. I have my questions ready and I have my mask ready too. Good. Maybe you should also wear those gloves that doctors wear. Not doctors. Veterinarians wear to inseminate a horse. All the way up. Just for laughs. Laura, I thought PTB was part-time boyfriend. Curb craving might get my brain working. Probably not, but there's a chance. Well, yeah, I guess that works. When you're focused on a rumbling tummy, not much else matters. So let's see. So I'm definitely going to be doing the thing. Makes as much sense as anything. Good. Do that thing today, or do that thing this Saturday. I'm going to be doing the SD card holder this Saturday for the giveaway. I think that'll be a very easy project, very fast and fun project. The alcohol inks shipped, and we'll be here next week to make different types of tumblers. Woohoo! Oh, that's gonna be cool. What is that channel? Evelyn and Kate. Look them up on YouTube. They do a lot of, they're kind of idiots. Well, they're not idiots. They just play as idiots as part of their thing. But they do a lot of interesting experiments and stuff with resins and epoxies, and they do a lot with alcohol inks. So yeah, Evelyn and Kate. And they're all, several of them are all on that microfacturing craze that I've been thinking about for a dozen years now. And I've been trying to work myself into and stuff without breaking myself or my bank or destroying my life in the process. But yeah, they do a lot of really cool stuff, and I think you'd be well served by watching some of their stuff. That's a very roundabout way to say things. Speaking of microfacturing, Eileen, what was your takeaway on yesterday's private live stream that we did with Glowforge? Because I really want one. Thing is, It was really really cool last night, getting like 3 or 4 shout outs from them. Hopefully I'd be able to get like some sort of a sponsorship deal or something, where I can get the Pro and play with it and do all these crazy things and start microfacturing, but also start giving away stuff. I think it would be so cool to be able to design stuff in CAD and just shoot it over to the laser and have it print stuff out. I want one. So interesting. I want to play with one before I pull the trigger, although Rich said I'm not allowed till we have a house. Well, I can't really say I blame him. That'd be awesome. Contact them. I think I might, as soon as things start blowing over or puts on ski mask, walks in the bank. Seriously. Well, the Pro is like, I don't know, $6,000, a little less than six grand. Once you're monetized, you might be able to get them as a sponsor, because then you can show what a benefit you'd be. This is true. Here's the thing with sponsorships, though. They are not tied to YouTube's monetization. To be monetized on YouTube, I need to get 1,000 subscribers and then have 4,000 watch hours within a calendar year of application. Right now I'm at 424 subscribers, and actually, let me pull up my stuff. Let me pull out. I need to pull up another doobly-doo here. Oh wow, this actually comes up on my recommended page that I'm live. Imagine that. Go to studio. Oh, we've dropped down to 4 people. Yeah. And it looks like I lost a subscriber. So I'm at 423. Analytics. Change to calendar year. By default, YouTube Analytics just goes the last 28 days, which is the most relevant, which is actually really cool because I can see the massive jump I've had in all of my subscriber counts and watch time and views and stuff. But when you look back on the in the last 365 days, you get a much more interesting view. Now, unfortunately, it's really going to hurt me that I took those like 8 months off, 9 months off, especially coming up. Even though I'm doing so much now, there's this whole swath where I was, about 150 views a day, and 80, 90 watch hours a day, down to 25, 30 views a day, and only like 4 or 5 hours of watch time. So that glut is going to really, not glut, that ditch is really going to hurt me moving forward. However, I hope that doing all these live streams and stuff, while I'm able to, in addition to putting out my regular content, or starting to put out my regular content, I think that'll be a huge, at least help offset it, so that when over the course of this next year it'll do the thing. But anyways, that monetization on YouTube is not tied to sponsorships or brand deals or anything else. So right now it says I have, for the whole monetization thing, I have 423 subscribers, 1,000 required, 958 hours of public watch hours, so private videos and stuff don't count towards that, and I need 4,000. So yeah, that's where I'm at there. The shouts were cool. Yeah, they were, right? Just hearing big companies say my name on their live stream, even though there was only 50 of us in there. and only 10 or 15 of us were actually talking. It was really really cool, and it was cool seeing that just watching machines work and watching how fast they actually work in real time was very interesting. I mean, because you'd be big enough for them to consider it. This is true. It is what it is, dude. You're gonna get back up there again. Yeah. And Joey, YouTube monetization can be unforgiving. It is very unforgiving. Say my name, say my name. Say baby I want you. Say ba 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 ba. Yeah, I just did that. Yeah, you're right, Joe. It is very unforgiving because I already had like $62 in the till, and they don't pay out. AdSense doesn't pay out until you reach $100. But AdSense isn't just YouTube, which is good and bad. Kenshiro? I don't know. Well, it's good and bad. Because me and Laura went through this, like 2 months ago, trying to do stuff with my blog, which I've been neglecting. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a restructuring with Nightsmith. And I want to find a way to incorporate AdSense into the website. I want to get rid of my Etsy store altogether because Etsy sucks. I know they're doing advertising now where before is all, say my name was Fist of North Star. I don't think I've ever seen that. But not only do they take a listing price, and then do they take a cut of your profits, but now they are forcing you to pay for advertising even if you don't sign up for it or don't agree to it. So I'm thinking about getting rid of Etsy altogether, and changing my blog, kind of getting rid of my blog but keeping the domain, and building a whole new website where I have everything I want. So I do still have a blog ticker. Maybe I could have a couple ads run on the blog, under AdSense, so I can start getting that till ticking again. And then I'm thinking of having, I want 3 main components to the website. Like a little blog thing where it's not really a blog at that point, but almost be kind of like random thoughts, and maybe have a way that patrons can have an access code or something to talk in there, or to put out their thoughts and ideas or whatever into that little section somehow. Maybe I don't know how to do that. Once you hit a certain level. Then I want like a showcase area, showing my most recent videos and projects. Not just one or the other, but like, here's the video, here's a still image of the project, bop, 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 bop. Destiny's Child. Yeah, I think that is by Destiny's Child. I think. I don't know. And then the third area would be sales, where it has all the products and prices and stuff listed, and page for like commissions, and I don't know. I need to hash it out. I need to take a pen and paper and actually like draw out a sitemap. That's how my brain thinks out. I'm a very visual guy. But, bleh. And yeah, Joey, it was within your time. You just weren't paying attention. So, with all that said, who has any experience with websites? Because I'm basically an idiot when it comes down to a lot of technology stuff. Yeah, I'm not great with computers. I just I like hitting things with a hammer. Um, yeah, so I like drawing pretty pictures and hitting things with hammers, and having good food to eat. So I definitely need help with technology. And isn't that how computers work? Yeah, I wish it was. Um, but if I hit a piece of steel, I can fix it. If I hit a computer, I have a bill. And yay for lower participation. Always nice. And I see just on my Instagram here, Eileen Braden has been sharing a bunch of Poor Richard's designs, or Poorest Rich designs. I swear, if once I start getting bigger, Eileen, you're gonna be the merch bitch. Yeah, because you have some awesome and hilarious ideas, and I absolutely love them. And Laura is happy to help with computer confusion. Yes, I do know that, and I very much appreciate it. It's just the whole getting everything to a certain point, and then also at this point we have to worry about what you call it. Past this whole thing, lockdown thing, which meh, we'll get there. We'll get there. And yeah, aw shucks is right. I like the shit you do. Now, is the husband in? Debacle. Yeah, it is. This whole thing is a debacle. And there's so much I want to do, and I have so much free time to do stuff now, but I have no ability to do it because we're all locked. It's almost impossible to get materials. Not almost impossible. I'm still getting materials, but it's taking 5-6 times longer to get anything. I'm almost out of vape juice, so that might make for a very grumpy Chris, on top of the migraine that has been brewing in the back of my head for the last 3-4 days. Husband just went downstairs. He supports what I'm doing. Keeps me out of his hair. Good. Well, I was just wondering if he was hopping in here with us or not, or if he's awake or just playing Pokemon. Can you call your favorite vape shop and do a curb? They're all shut down. I went to the apartment yesterday or the day before, and drove to everyone in the area. Just drove past and everyone shut down. I put in an online order to Yeti Vape, because they're a pretty decent company, and they're shipping it out. But when that's gonna get here, is anybody's guess. Yeah, but they're all shut down. They're not essential business, because I guess you can go get cigarettes, but I'm not going to do that. I have my pipe, but it's so cold out right now that I also don't want to stand outside for 45 minutes to an hour smoking a pipe. Unfortunately, at my parents' house, they have all these different plants and stuff. And it looks like their asparagus is dead from this little cold snap we're getting, and their almond tree, all the blossoms are starting to turn like a tannish color instead of the whitish pink that they normally are. So yeah, it was flurrying a little bit ago too, right before this live stream started. So not fun. It's April. It should be warm and rainy. The least I should be able to do is go outside and have a pipe. But no. It's raining, just frozen rain. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you could say it's precipitation of some sort. But I'd rather it be a nice warm rain. I'd rather be, somewhat relaxed. So I'm also getting comments from my one friend on Facebook based on the live stream. Des, you can comment in the comment section, and we can all see it somewhere in there. So join us, become one of us. But yeah, so I hope the vape stuff comes in sooner than later. I have 1, 2, 3 packages in transit right now. So I have vape stuff. I have Dark Side of Nightsmith is fun. Yes, it is. I'm gonna have to do something with that, because that was just so funny yesterday. Or was it the day before? The Dark Side of Nightsmith. I'm gonna really have to do something with that. Let's see. I have the package coming in today with the mallet, tape, and leather. I have another package coming in sometime with a bunch of bloodwood, which is so cool. I might have to wait to open that up until I do the live stream the next morning from when it arrives. Just kind of as a unpacking, unpackaging type thing. Because I've never seen bloodwood before. I've seen pictures of it online, of course, but I've never seen it. So unboxing, that's what it's called. So I might have to do an unboxing of the Bloodwood live, which would be cool, I think. Yeah, an unboxing video. Yeah, that's it. That's the word for it. I think that would be really cool and kind of fun. I couldn't resist yesterday tearing into what I got from Weaver because I wanted to try it out and see everything and how does it work and how does it react and how quiet are those poundo boards. Super quiet actually. I cut so the marble slab is 12 by 12. But they didn't have a poundo board that was 12 by 12. They were out of stock, but they had one that was 12 by 24. So instead of buying 2 poundo boards, I bought one that was twice the size I needed, sliced it in half, and now I have exactly what I want. And it was actually cheaper than buying 2 poundo boards. Bit of pain in the ass to cut in half, but it's supposed to be cut resistant, so makes sense. But yeah, stupid quiet, and the pricking irons really bite into that leather fast and give a nice diamond pattern stitch hole, even though it's the 3mm, which is about 9 stitches per inch, as opposed to the 1/8 inch, which is 8. I know it doesn't sound like a big difference, but over 4 feet of stitching, a lot of change there. What else? But yeah, I could not wait to dig into those yesterday. But it is so quiet. It is actually a pleasure to beat on things with a mallet. I actually used the manual hole punch instead of the rotary punch, because the last time I used it to start cutting out the pattern on oh, I got a text message from Eileen. Welcome to the dark side. Alright guys, so Eileen just sent this to me and it is fantastic. Oh. Welcome to the dark side. Are you surprised we lied about having cookies? That is fantastic. We might have to do something with that. But yeah, when I was doing it for the Plague Doctor mask, before I bought the rotary punch, well, actually, my patrons bought the rotary punch, so thank you, patrons. You guys are awesome. Go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith if you want to support this channel. Even $1 a month helps. But yeah, doing it with the manual punch and hammer was just killing my head. Gave me a wicked migraine. It was echoing off the walls. It was loud and awful, and the neighbors were getting pissy. But with those 2 poundo boards and the mat, and the marble slab, it was quiet. It punched easy. It was fantastic. So super happy with that. Very happy with that. If you couldn't tell from my affect here. Keeping this good happy face on right now is all that's keeping me from going nuts. El nutso. Yeah, but that was very funny, Eileen. If we ever start doing merch, you're definitely gonna be the lady. Might just have to do that anyways. Get a couple shirts, have you make up a couple shirts like that. Might have to talk to Mike at some point today about something in that vein. And we really need to figure out, like solid numbers for you so we can start planning out you know, to make like merch work, it'd have to be some sort of like a wholesale type thing. So you get paid a fair wage, but I also get a cut. And then, you know, the shipping and everything. At least for like t-shirts and stuff like that. Because yeah, we can make that work. If we do that, and then everything kind of starts growing out and out from there, yeah, that could be a thing. That could be a thing where we both make money, decent money, and even possibly enough to afford a couple glow forges. Just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, I've had my eye on one of those machines for about 2 years now, and it's about a, you know, their company's only 5 years old, so I've been like frothing at the mouth, just quietly and wiping my face off every couple months, just thinking about that and all the things I can do with it. And I really need to get some sort of massive investor type people. And honestly, the dream, Eileen, would be to get about 2,000 patrons over at Patreon, all donating $1 a month. Because then I would be making more at Knightsmith, far and above more at Knightsmith, than I was at my day job. And even though I love my day job, I'd rather focus all my time here. Which means I'd be able to do a live stream every morning and do content all the time. In addition to, you know, I'd always have regular content. I'd always have live streams. I'd always have, you know, I'd always be able to do giveaways and, you know, ship merch out to people and do all these different crazy things. Because, you know, see what I'm doing when I'm already working 8 hours a day somewhere else and taking care of a kid. Now imagine if I didn't have to worry, if I had that 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, to spend only on Knightsmith. How awesome, how much more, how much better this whole thing would be. You better find that social media person to get you out and about to get them. Yeah. I need to find them. I need to find someone to do that. I need to find someone. I almost think I need to sit down and really think about it, but I'm almost thinking that the social media person would also have access to, you know, they'd have to be an admin in Knightsmith, of course, in the Facebook group. They have to have access to my Instagram, my Patreon, my Twitter, you know, all of that stuff. I'm not sure how all that comes down or plays out or what. But yeah, if I can get all that together, and then everything else I do and make is extra on top of that, then I could possibly even start affording to hire people, and make this a real legit functioning business, which is so cool. It really is. But that's my dream. That's my goal. Speaking of dreams and goals, I actually have 90% of a script worked out where I actually want to talk about my dream shop. And it's 99% fantasy, but it's all based in reality. but I think it's a very good thought exercise. And I think it's something that everyone should do. Like, really think about, what's the ideal, and how you make that ideal a reality, even though you might not ever go there. Just as a thought thing. Calls are picking up. At least I can stare and read the chat. Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. I very much appreciate it. Like I said, almost every other day, I can't expect you to be here because you're working. But I appreciate you joining as often as you can and commenting and being a part of this as much as possible. I really do appreciate it, and I think everyone else does too, because you help liven up the chat. And that's what makes these live streams so much more fun, is actually having people to talk with and to, and seeing all your side comments and stuff. It's fun. It's a pleasure. But yeah, once I start picking up in subscribers and start picking up more over on Patreon, could really start doing things and amping this up into a whole new ball game. And that is the plan. Because this has to be something that I can support my family with, and this has to be something that I can really push time into. Because, like I said, I want to be a member of the 444 Club. I was talking with my dad about that last night, because he wants to do the same thing. He wants to build his own kayak and do the whole thing in one shot. So we won't be able to do it this year, but if we start, working and planning on it now, we should be able to hit late summer of next year, which would be kind of cool, because that'd be something for his 60th birthday. It'd be about 12 to 14 days. And there's a restaurant in the harbor right at the end there. And I was thinking about this last night, but how cool would it be if I was able to live stream with all of you guys every night while I'm on the islands, and then have a public meetup at the end of that. Everyone, it's going to be Sunday, this date, we're going to try for this time, we're going to meet in this restaurant, let's be there. So you get to see my whole journey, and then you get to be there to celebrate with me at the end. How cool would that be? Right? But I'd have to take 2 weeks of vacation time from my current job, or be independent with Knightsmith only, to be able to make something like that happen. So those are the thoughts, those are the plans, and I cannot wait for my new package to come in today. First time buying like a full hide. Those goat hides were pretty cool, but they were only about that big. This thing's gotta be like that. So it's like a buffalo calf, I think it is. It says Cobra buffalo calf. So I don't know what that really means, if it really is a buffalo calf or just a cow. But it's a thin veg tan hide. So I'm gonna be doing a few different projects with it. Once I'm able to print over here, I'm actually going to be, oh wow, look at that. You can't see this, but on the analytics side, last 28 days, watch time 140.7 hours. That's 72.3 more than usual, which means I have more than doubled my watch time, which is so cool. I know that's stupid and quirky, but let's Let's see. Let's go to buckle guy. Let's see where it is. Because I want my leather. Here's the thing with that Ted's tape too. It is kind of a replacement. It's a double-sided permanent adhesive tape. So I got it in an 1/8 inch width. But the thing about it is, it's supposed to kind of partially or completely replace out for delivery. Wow, I'm a nerd. It's supposed to supplement what is it? Barge cement, which is like a contact cement. Now, when you're doing thin things, like leather wallets or card holders or whatever, you can do that to adhere the seams very easily. You don't have to wait for it to dry for 5 minutes per seam like you do with barge cement. It just sticks nice, and you're able to drop in your stitch line and then stitch everything together. So, and it doesn't smell. Barge cement has a really strong smell. So I'll be able to do these sorts of things like in the house, in the apartment, without causing issues, which is super cool. So, and then, it's the leather and then the mallet. It's just a mallet because you don't want to have like a steel hammer like I have for everything else, because that'll mushroom and destroy your tools. And it's also so much louder. So I have a poly mallet coming in, and I'm thinking about maybe once I get back to the shop, maybe turning some sort of a hardwood mallet. I need to have a jointer's mallet anyways, so I might make 5 or 6 mallets once I get back to the shop, and maybe I'll do a giveaway on that too. Who knows? One thing I do want to do once this whole lockdown is over is possibly in some way, shape, or form keeping up with some live streams. At least doing one a week. I'm not sure where that would fit in with my schedule. Once we go back to work and being a father and working in the shop. So I have basically I work in the shop one night during the week and on the weekends. So I don't know if it'd be better if I just got up early and did the live stream at like 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, or whatever, or maybe did it in the evening one of these days. But yeah, so somewhere somehow in there I want to keep this going and still be able to do giveaways. So I don't know if I could do the giveaway at the shop. I don't really have internet at the shop. Which would have been helpful now. I never really needed it at the shop because I just recorded things and left. So I'm going to have to do something, but I'm not sure what that something is going to be yet. You guys have any ideas or thoughts on that, please let me know. But it is 10 o'clock, or almost 10 o'clock. My head is absolutely pounding. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Even if I don't look like it, I feel horrible. So instead of going for that extra mile today, I think I'm going to go lay down on a bed of ice. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Remember, 9 a.m. Monday through Saturday. You guys make this whole thing fun. You make it worthwhile. You make it into the thing that it should be. This is such a pleasure doing all of this with all of you guys that I couldn't be happier with how this is turning out. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Y'all take care.